Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about the three things that go into running a digital marketing agency. So I've been in the digital marketing space for 4 years on my own business called Symphony Advertising, but I've been in the space for about 10 years, almost 10 years. And there's two sides, right? There's working in a digital marketing agency, which is quite frankly way different, or can be way different than trying to run your own agency. And so I come from a perspective of a small business, right? Like there are people who started a company and either they have previous experience or they have uh, a different skill set. They are able to start at a different level, right? Maybe they start with Fortune 500 companies, maybe they start with sports teams, maybe they start with events. For me, it's going to be with local service-based businesses. And to give a quick summary of what has been happening in the last 4 years, going on 4 years, is the first 2 years it took trial and error. What do I want to offer? What clients do I want to work with? How do I sell stuff? And then the last 2 years has been more about scaling, very, very little, but scaling as to we know what kind of customer we serve, we know what we can serve and what's valuable to them. And then how do we go about getting more customers? And now what I'm learning is it's not about more customers, it's about getting our customers to a different level. That's what we want to do. And so they may come in as a starter business, but we can build them up to become more services because they require more. And so that's kind of my journey at this point. It's me, 2 employees, and one contractor who's basically been with me since like 3 years, 3.5 years. And yeah, if there's any questions about the digital marketing space, what goes on to it, anything in general, that's what this channel is going to be for. Some of it's going to be digital marketing related as a digital marketing owner, but also a lot of it's going to be local service business based. Like what can you do to get more customers, to better position yourself, to build your brand, to some things you don't realize while trying to make when I started this business, I didn't know that because companies do better, right? They hire more people internally, and then they run into another set of issues. Like how do you hire? How do you make sure work is still there? Do you overhire? Do you underhire? How quickly do you fire? If you need more space in a location, how do you go about that? If you add a location, what should you name it? Should you use a different address? And so because the marketing does well, not always, but sometimes, a good amount of the time, you start running into other issues. So that's also why digital marketing might be a short-term thing for us, and we'll become a digital agency where we offer more than just marketing services. This is like literally January 1, we stopped paying for our offices and we all go work from home. Gonna try that out again, and I think it's like our fourth or fifth set of offices. So it's funny because it allows you to do different things, right? Now that I'm home, hey, I could just prop this thing up. It's not weird. I don't have an employee behind me listening in or people walking by. And so that's what this journey is going to be about. So what goes into running a digital marketing agency? I came up with 3 points. So number one, finding clients, right? And this is in no particular order, but whenever you want to start a digital marketing agency, you have to find companies that need your services, right? And so the best thing to do, which is hard to figure out, is how do you go about offering a service that people are willing to pay for, but also that you want to work with, right? I think when we start, and it makes sense, we just want to make money, right? Like how do we get money into our bank account because we have bills to pay? We started a business, we may need to pay for software, for rent, for employees, owner pay. How do we get money, right? That's the first thing. And so finding clients is probably the harder part of the equation. I think most people can figure out how to do digital marketing if you work at it. Like it's actually a tangible thing you can learn. But with marketing, the issue too is you don't get to practice unless you have the client, right? It's like a chicken egg thing. Like you can build websites all day long, which is why I recommend if you're trying to learn, building websites is a great place to start because you could just start, pick a domain, pick a theme, start building. It could be fictional, it could be for a free client, but you can actually get started. Whereas if you want to run Google Ads or if you want to run paid social or even organic social, you have to find the client in order to have the subject to promote. Not only the subject to promote, but you need to have the dollars, right? Even if you work for free, a Google Ads spend of $1,500 is still going to cost the client $1,500. So it is kind of difficult to pull off, but it is pull offable, if that's a word. And so, I think it's trial and error with finding clients. What I did is I started promoting on social media. Hey, I started my digital marketing agency. Anybody who needs any kind of help with digital marketing, such as long list of all the experience I've had, hit my line. And that's kind of what started it. Very short, slow and steady, but it has helped. We've currently been floating around 50-ish clients in the last 6 months. We're kind of stuck there. And I don't think that's bad. I actually think we need to get not rid of, but we have enough clients to grow. Like, there's several ways you can take your agency. You can get as many clients as possible, but then you also have to scale your team with it. Or you can become more boutique, more consulting based, and have less clients. You can still do it large, but I think for us, we have less clients, but we offer a more in-depth service that each client will pay more because the service is worth more, and then it'll kind of have a good equilibrium of not too many clients but good quality instead of high clients, low quality. And so that's the idea, right? But you can take it many which ways. And so right now, what we're doing is we're really taking the clients we have and trying to expand on them, and then be a little bit more, hey, we're only taking this kind of client, or if you're willing to follow this plan, then it's a good fit. If not, it's not. Because some people are just looking for a service. Some people are just trying to, hey, I want somebody to do my SEO. And as long as they're paying somebody and you're checking the box like I'm paying for SEO, that's what they want. They don't necessarily want to put in the work that goes into local SEO and like the ridiculous reality that is SEO. Or maybe they want to do social media, but they're cool with just stock photos and captions instead of a more thoughtful video where the owner or an employee or a representative is in front of the camera telling a story, getting testimonials. Like, everything is like, you can just check the box, or you can actually go in depth and try to make it matter and be more impactful. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just a different type of client. And so finding the client, to wrap this up, is trial and error, testing a bunch of things and see which one matches for you, right? Because in our heads, in theory, we already know, but you don't really know until you're talking, communicating, executing, checking results, checking statuses, and then figuring out, oh, okay, this is good, this is not good. And so you'll figure that out. For me, it's been with local service-based businesses, but mainly like contractors. So like flooring, roofing, tiles, plumbers. But we do get other stuff too. But it's mainly like small businesses. Some bigger, but mainly small. All right, that's number one. Number two, offering a service that's worth keeping. So with a digital marketing agency, the easiest part, even though I said it's the hardest, is starting, right? Like, I got let's say a $500 client. I got them signed up. We're offering them, Google Ads. And we sell like a package solution. So we normally sell web design, Google Ads, and SEO as a package. But in this scenario, we'll just say, okay, Google Ads, $500. And so it's great when you get started because, money comes in, you're doing a service. Month 2, 500 more bucks. Month 3, 500 more bucks. But the question that will never be answered, because it's a moving target, is why should a business keep paying your business to continually pay $500? And so whether that is just getting results, because you would think that results is enough, but it's not. It's not, because there is no reference, right? So like, let's say they pay you $500, they spend $1,000 on Google Ads, and they get $2,000 back. Like, by all accounts, they made double their money. That's worthwhile. Like, you're gaining, right? Let's say it's even better. They make $3,000. They make 3 times their money, right? That they put in, or whatever the math is. It's still good. They're getting a return. And so like, who is it on, right? Like, you could just say, hey, you made $2,000 back. You, at whatever scale, right? It could be 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. It's a scale thing, right? It matters specifically in context to that specific business. And so you could say, okay, client, you're obviously killing it, but maybe it turns out, yes, we are getting more customers, but because it's costing us XYZ in order to service these customers, we really don't get our money until 5 months later. And so then it's like, okay, that's not the marketing agency's problem, right? But it kind of is. Or maybe they don't understand the results they're getting. Hey, yeah, I've had this happen where like people are testing Google Ads and business cards, and they'll think that the business cards are the ones that are bringing in the calls instead of the Google Ads. And it's like, I guess if that's what you think, then maybe that's the case. And so go with the business cards. And you can track this stuff, right, with call rail or call tracking to like match it up. But in that scenario, it wasn't, it was pretty low stakes. But the point is, just because you're doing the work or just because you're providing the results, it's really, I think, in my opinion, more about the customer relationship. A customer is more likely to stay if you have more touch points, if you report monthly on what you're doing, if you report the results, if you report the good and the bad, if you give them a plan about, hey, month one, we do this. Actually, we like to do it in quarters. So like, hey, in this quarter, we're focused on this segment of your services because of the specific weather. When it's, the holiday season, it makes more sense to focus on SEO because it's not going to be as busy. When it's, summertime, it's better to do content because people are, itching for solutions for the water heater or whatever. And so it changes. It constantly changes. And so like, imagine this, right? If you only have 5 customers, it's a lot easier to do than when you have 50 customers, because now you have 50 different solutions in different states for different companies with different names, with different people, with different relationships. And so it adds up. It gets out of control really quick, even with the team. So like I said, we're a team of 4, and it's still pretty tough. And so number 2, to wrap it up, is like, why should someone keep paying for your service? And that's the question you try to answer, or we try to answer every single month. And the better we do that, the more likely they stay. The worse we do that, the more likely they are to leave. And, that's not the goal. The goal is to grow together and, have a symbiotic relationship where we both benefit. And so that would be number 2. And finally, which goes back to kind of number 2, is continuous improvement. So with this part, it's like, okay, let's say someone signs up with your service and they're on it for a year and they benefit for a year. Let's say it's Google Ads. We do a lot of Google Ads. Let's say it's social media organic content, right? They're consistently getting followers. They're consistently getting comments. They're consistently getting leads from it. But let's say they figure it out. They're happy with the product. They're happy with the service. And they have enough existing customers now that their referral network has grown, right? So imagine when you start off, you have 1 customer. It's hard to get referrals because you have 1 customer. When you have 1,000 customers, that's 1,000 different people that have used your product or service that are more, and say they're happy, they're willing to refer you out. So at some point, you may not need to pay for, let's say you're running $10,000 on ad spend. You're like, hey, we actually do pretty well. We don't need these $10,000. They would rather profit, keep it in the business, or reinvest it into a different part of the business. And so if you just say we're going to keep doing the same exact thing for eternity, of course it's going to get stale, or there's no longer a need to service. It no longer serves its purpose because what it was needed for is no longer a thing, right? So like as an agency, me specifically, I sit there and I think, okay, I can see that you're maxed out at your Google Ads. Instead of spending $5,000 on Google Ads every month, why don't we take a portion of that and add it to a retargeting campaign? Why don't we take a portion of that and create a paid social campaign? Why don't we take a portion of that and start an email campaign with, once a month promotions? Instead of doing that, why don't we redesign your website? You never got the website done with us. Why don't we go ahead and start doing that? And so what the continuous improvements means to me is looking at their business as a whole instead of just as we're doing their Google Ads. Because if you're just going at the Google Ads, you're checking the box. Like, even if you get really in depth with it, like, it's only gonna be useful for so long, in my opinion, right? I could be wrong. And that's the thing with agencies. Like, there's a million ways of doing it. But what is the landscape, right? 5 years ago, TikTok wasn't that important for businesses. Today, you should probably do it. It's like one of the easiest ways to get awareness and customers for relatively a low price. If you had a website that you built 10 years ago and now it's 2024, well, maybe it's better that you redesign it. Again, it's not like absolutely needed, but if you want to talk about branding, if you want to talk about positioning, having a good website that clearly communicates what you do, where you do it, how they can learn about your business, what's helpful, why they should use you, if you have all that in place, the more traffic that goes to your site, the more likely they're going to convert, aka become a customer, the more useful you're going to be. And so you're going to benefit more if you take the time to think and say, okay, we haven't updated our messaging, our website in over 10 years. We're clearly not the same company. Let's get everyone up to speed with what we do so that, and then you can look at the data, right? Hey, it looks like you get 1,000 visitors a month. It doesn't sound crazy, but as the continuous improvement part of this, the strategy of it is, okay, how can we continue to improve your overall marketing standpoint? And again, it's not even marketing. It's like branding. It's positioning. It's when somebody clicks on your Instagram, can they link back to your website? Do they see the reviews from Google? Can they click on your testimonials? Can they go to the YouTube channel and learn about how you helped this person? And so it's like this omnipresent solution or strategy, because that's what's happening. It's people have options. The more placements you give them where they say, oh, okay, they have done that. When you check those internal brain check marks that people are looking for before they call you, the more likely you are to succeed. And so that is what goes into running a digital marketing agency for these YouTube series that I'm going to call Who Knows What. So please let me know if you have any specific questions or any feedback, and I'm happy to make a video on it or respond. Again, we're symphonyadvertising.com. Also, all the social media links in the description. Please like this video, and thank you very much.